So I'm here with Rita Kakati Shah, who is the founder of something called Uma. And Uma is amazing, and I've of course known you for a little while, so I know the story and I've heard it. But what's amazing is that you're helping moms and women that have taken a break from their careers, some stellar careers, and are now returning to the workforce. And you're really helping to bridge that transition.
Right. So I really set up Uma. It's my own personal story. I used to be in investment banking. I was 10 years, I was at Goldman Sachs in London. Came from the trading floor, and then I switched to the pharmaceutical industry while in London, and then I got married and moved to New York, and then I had 2 little kids. They're now 3 and 5, so I took almost 4 years off to raise them. And about a year ago, when I thought about going back to work, I couldn't believe how tough it was. When I would meet ex-colleagues and friends of mine, both from the finance and the pharmaceutical industries, I couldn't believe the kind of questions I was getting, because I had a career break on my resume.
And, it was not, and they couldn't focus on anything else, right?
Right, exactly. They didn't ask me not one question about my background, what I did, not even about motherhood and what an incredible journey I'd had, none of that. It was all about focusing on the break. And I had been branded by the gap. There was definitely a stigma that exists with taking a career break, and I felt it. I was basically called a quitter, not ambitious, and not being a go-getter. Couldn't be furthest from the truth, but it was hurtful, if nothing else.
I was going to say, now how does that make you feel when someone's taking all of your accomplishments and distilling it down to like one adjective?
Right, so if anything, it made me really fired up, and I'd realized during my time off that I'd met so many incredible women, mostly during my journey of motherhood, that had very similar but their own unique stories. So I knew I had to do something about this. There was definitely something out there. And that really led to the birth of Uma, my own passion, my own life story, and really to fill the gaps that I had when I was looking to go back to work.
And I think there's probably like 3 prongs that we can use to describe what Uma does, right? One of them is like a resume redo, which is someplace where even people who haven't been out of the workforce sometimes need.
Right, yeah, so the three things we do. So one of them is actually these workshops that we put together called Uma Academy. And we actually start from an emotional journey. We start from discovering who you are on the inside. Who we are today as women is very different to who we were 5, 10, even 15 years ago. And we go through that entire journey, what makes us tick for who we are. We go through an emotional journey. It's not just a matter of getting out of bed one day and saying, you know what, I want to go back to work, or I want to just change my career. It's something we've thought about for a while. So we go through that emotional journey. How do you convey it to your kids? How do you convey it to your partner or your spouse if you've had a break? And then we talk about a wellness journey. If you don't feel good yourself on the inside, you cannot be the best mother, daughter, employee out there. So we focus on all those, and then we talk about more on the career, on the counseling side. What is a career break to you? What do you want to do? We go through a blank canvas exercise where we literally put everything out there, your interest, your background. Then we talk about the resume. Okay, how do we fill up that gap? So it's not a gap. You own it, you feel accomplished, and you're proud of what's on there. This sells you in lieu of yourself. And then we go into interview workshops, and all of our workshops are really practical and fun, and really get geared up. And I've got to say one thing, that having seen women go through this, from the day they come into the workshops to the day they leave, it's incredible to see that transition and the amount of confidence they've built.
And I think what's palpable and what I really loved seeing is when I was at one of your events recently is that you're also doing placement. Like you had actually placed one of the ladies who had come to one of your events at an actual job because of the corporate relationships that you have.
Right, yes. So we have Umaships, and those are really curated job opportunities to go back to work again. Think of it in terms of what is an internship. An internship is really a miniature version of a job. If somebody's going back to full-time work, an internship may be, say, 3 months of a full-time role. An Umaship is curated further. So if it is a full-time role, say, then an Umaship may be mornings only to start with, or it might be 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and then it would build up. So by the end of that stint, that Umaship, that 3-month period, say, you would be doing the job that you would be going into. And the good thing about that is you get to pick for yourself, like, is this exactly correct for you? Does it feel right? And from an employer's perspective, they get to sort of sample some incredible talent. And actually last year, we've been in operation just over a year, we actually awarded 6 ships, and every single one of them converted to a permanent position at the firm.
And that is something that you can just feel really good about,
Absolutely,
because that's actually helping women where they need it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so if someone wants to learn about your workshops, where do they need to go?
So whether it's networking events, UMA Academy workshops, or UMA ships, go to our website, which is www.beboldbeuma.com. You can also follow us on social media. Our handle is at beboldbeuma. And you can also email me personally if you like, which is rita@beboldbeuma.com.
Uma, of course, is a reference back to an Indian goddess, isn't it?
Yes. And the company named actually after the goddess Uma. So in Hinduism, in Sanskrit, she is a mother, she is a daughter, she is a sibling, she is a wife. And she depicts strength, courage, and dedication. So it was a really powerful name, short and sweet, but it had great meaning, so I thought it would be a perfect name for the company.
I can't think of a more perfect name that you could pick. I'm Joya, this is Rita, and we're at the Baccarat Hotel today having this conversation about her wonderful enterprise called UMA. You can read more about it.